Sorry. Cough came up. So yeah, welcome back to GAD's stuff over here. Well, first, because I remember saying this a long time ago. I was gonna be doing I read all the ones for Red Flood. I might as well do the ones for GD. Reading like this unofficial sequel, Mod 2 Red Flood. You know that shit me. I go turn over in here. Oh yeah, sorry, I sound a little different over here. I just haven't been up there. Nothing serious or anything, just that's kind of stuffed up lately, so I do apologize for that if I sounded off and all that. But with that, we're gonna be getting straight on into the stuff over here because we got a lot of reading to do here, so we'll get to do that over here. The many shades of anarchism, starting with over here. So share the anarchism. Power begets parasites, a tale as old as time, and one that has always proven true. As time marches on and the state gets more centralized, its power multiplied and its function expanded, devouring even greater resources to its murderous march. Yet the darkness of factory floors, the reading clubs, and the dark corners of the human mind, a new idea was born. An idea of a new world without classes, strata, and money. Only one anarchy provides for every son and daughter. Only her embrace cares for every equality, for everyone equally and fairly over here. Whatever, I'm sorry. So the anarchism as a doctrine arose out of the plethora of movements from Platón to Kropotkin to the Sedfi in Spain and to the anarcho-syndicalism of 20th century America. History is rich with theory, and more vibrant practice. As Cordy embraced socialism, with some fellow follow Marx, they reject both the vanguardism of the Leninist Party and the half-measure Spartacism. Instead, they opt to drive right to the destructive frenzy of revolution, smashing centralized bureaucracy, empowering the worker communities, and giving every proletariat their own means of production, where they aim at abolishing every vestige of reactionary and oppressive statism. Uncompromising and often scorned by all sides of the political spectrum, a delusional fantasy and rebel route to utopia, they remain the only hope for our human liberation and the ever-increasing complexity of authoritarian bureaucratic nation-states. While suffering a crippling blow thanks to utilitarian futurism in Europe, putting human progress on a path of total war and global dominance of Leninism and the international left, leaving little room for opposition, there are many regions that will still see a few anarchist cells and movements that rise the red flag along the black. Often repressed and forced on the ground in the slow development of the revolutionary world, given this same push. But what else has given simple man to lose in this ever-accelerating world besides his own change? Yeah, we got that future, when our future being goes right says it were. We do have anarchism, we'll get to that in a bit, but yeah. It's your good old-fashioned anarchies over here with that revolutionary shit. Let's get on to something a little bit different over here with individualist anarchism over here with Søren Sterner out here. Is a man not entitled to the sweat of his brow? I see what they're doing. No, says the man, Le Soleil belongs to the future. No, says the man in Moscow belongs to the vase. No, says the man in Tokyo, it belongs to the people. Individuals anarchists reject these answers, instead choose something different. It shows the impossible. It shows freedom. A place where the scientists would not be bound by petty morality, where the mighty shall would not be restrained by the small. A place where there are no gods, no kings, simply men with sweat on their brow and blood in their veins. Unlike the red birds, the individualists have found real success in the last half-century. First question, Russia and France were the illegalists and the black anarchists fell under the act of the label transformed in the vast. Then failed to seize their chance on the large plains of America, generating a band to absorb themselves to numerous re-emerging states. His ideas live in the floors like never before. The ideas of Sterner, the Boston anarchists, and Vince Novatore found refuge in the heart of young elites around the world over here. The fun fact about Renzo over here, he's gonna be a path. He'll coming up burning memories. I remember that because they've said so. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how that's gonna work over here. I was looking forward to that whenever Burning Memories comes out. For the tyrants around the world press on the Atlas shrugs again. That's a weird way. Spreading the golden wings, embracing the wonder and horror of the coming storm, free to forge their own paths of freedom, whether it heads to the left or right, moderate or radical, rational or esoteric, concrete or contradictory. The anarchists care not for such petty issues, for the society runs itself without any oversight of tyrants. Instead, they are free to make any fortune by any means necessary, But what is stable are pile of papers and formalities. Policy is essentially a will of the liberated individual that has the power to create, they will conquer, the will to conquer, and that might conceptualize the coming day that the hordes of bureaucrats will never dare dream. Well, the individual is quieted over here. We're having a bit of a Andrew Ryan from Bioshock over here. But I guess it makes sense over here. There's a little bit of that. I think that was more Ian Rand sort of based over here. And there's Flushy's libertarian capitalism, so not exactly on that, so that's exactly how that's gonna be. Those. Yeah. The interesting shit we got going on over here. You got the bad guys. First of all, I do like the icons over here. I probably should say this earlier over here, but I do like them. Very nice over in here. I think they're very nice looking over in here. Let's get that. I can see over here. I've been reading a lot over here, so I'm gonna. Now on to the vanguard of the anarchism. We're seeing opposing an ironclad machine wielded by hundreds of thousands, single pistol and bomb against the volleys of heavy artillery and the warrior tanks. The anarchist experiment failed terror at the time, crushed by the force of oppression, always outnumbered and outgunned. In 1919, the Galliensis learned this lesson the hard way, as American police made quick work of their small gang and were creating the forces of the MAC to have a flee under the protection of gas. The pressure of the world supply trade white only been given them no respite. In the streets of Barcelona, educations would come out with internationalist blitz. One of the other not many anarchists who joined with the NFV remain hanging on the Swedish sword of attack. Those encounters and tragedies taught the anarchists a valuable lesson. Just where state more has to utilize his methods. The vanguard anarchist tendency positioning itself as the last hope of the forces of liberation. When against the almighty capitalist system that amassed the resources of countless millions, children of modern anarchy must counter with strict discipline, skill, and necessary compromise. Above all, self-aware temporary hierarchy to continue to fight. Essentially, is the war heresy for every anarchist, but what can they pose when they allow the barrel of the status to rub against the back of their heads? The vanguards cared not for the retrograde theories. Instead, they are driven by the harsh realities of the battlefield. Even they cost would be a dictatorship of the army. It is the only force that can slay the dragon and seek to steal their very humanity. The sacrifices would not be in vain, for as the production grew in the battlefield to shift in their favor, while the discipline gave way to willing cooperation, and the experience gained will allow to correct the previous mistakes. How far these temporary measures go depends on who is at the helm of the black armies. While some may relish the ray of glory as a symbol to unify around, others may take mild measures to avoid disrupting the fragile communal balance. In our case, it's only up to them to decide what the future will bring. The path is hard and bears many obstacles, but one lesson is clearly presented in their mind. Think about growth as a barrel of gun. It's a mouse saying. But yeah, we got that pragmatic anarchism as a word. Very pragmatic in anarchism. Anarchism getting the fuck as usual. Such is the way of the anarchism. Look at spiritual anarchism. Very interesting little portrait going up here. It's nice. I'll show you that Johnson. Will it be a portrait? There's also the icon over here, depending on how it looks at, but yeah. The 20th century has begun a myriad of liberal socialist future is awful, given the uncompromising scattering of the material change, preventing ever greater fumes of material wealth. For some, this was a sign that the money apparatus and centralized steel was destined to become omnipotent and embodied with human flesh. According to the spiritual anarchists, this was the most vile, most disgusting heresy. But what is spiritual anarchism? Well, for many anarchists, the main quarrel with the state is that the apparatus of state represses the common man's creativity and liberty. They argue that the person can be spiritual as well, mostly adhering to the principles of their secular brothers. They do not as interpret as sure as the apocalyptic clash against the Satan of modernity, the state. Damn. Their followers are scattered quite various anarchist and libertarian roots that have deep connection to official religious doctrine or mystical and occult teachings. More or less, we Christians will argue that the first communities of Christ followers were built on several organizations of trust and members, while more separate from a fully communist society. Buddhist converts and Gautama and their students rely on the sons of religious spiritual awakening. Muslim is known that man should not serve the state. They are one true master, Allah. For various esoterics will make complex ways of interpretation about transcending into eternal liberation, spiritual freedom, and freedom the eternal unlimited powers of man's inner peace. for all sorts of reasons to be religious anarchists, as it were. Followers of whichever God hit us. I guess over here, look at that. Within metric originally, a large mass of the police mankind with the question that was its answer. But today, there's the world become more and more centralized in the hand of powerful leaders in the form of the peasant bullshit that preside over the era of crisis and decay. And the precipice is getting closer to cover the structural state has begun to resemble a prey over the several past years. All it takes is for the sociological struggle to begin and for a single prophet to open the eyes of its followers. Yeah, the prophet may be for whichever side you believe in. Each is still over here. Now we got national anarchism over here. Party anarchist relevant over here, and I know because Red Phil also did this too. Sorry, anarchists. For much of its history, anarchism is firmly associated with the radical left, and more often than not, total rejection of patriotism as a whole. Dedicated to the universal block of long candidate, almost every political party associated with such words as fatherland, patriotic ethos, and the fear of a strong nation state that combined the men of the same language and blood together, shielding them from outside threats by the means of nation building, whether it was a common about. However, history has presented humanity with a myriad of crises and catastrophes that would even this was undeniable axiom. The real one united left and right, including many anarchists, to fulfill the national duty of their respective countries. We culminated in many anarchists joining forward with Marinette during the Martin Fiume. In France, neutral nationalists and anti-statists found the common ground in the Grand Speech and Fire Grand Music Canaliste, while the economic portion of the city government initially thought of Gorgolava as a measure to slay the all-powerful bureaucracy. Living united, the principles of the national anarchists believe that the modern state, as we know, is a plague to the people that seek to protect it. An elitist cabal, bourgeois plutocracy, that you can throw it off. Its paperwork stifles the national initiative and laws of structure, preventing providing sons and daughters from realizing their true potential. Well, right now, the America has reached its peak of technological and social development. No longer does it need to carry the burden of moronic, keeping the parliamentary chaos. No more productions upon his body and crystallize their spirit. When mankind uses not their time but the camaraderie of their compatriots united by blood, culture, or otherwise. Religion? Sorry, I got cough a bit. But first, the state must be wiped clean, the center must be disarmed and integrated, and power decentralized in the hands of the people themselves, for only they and the inhabitants have the right to organize their life as they see fit, have the only in the symbiosis of the national strength of the people, where desire for glory can the nation weather the coming storm. So on that anarchism for weeping laugh at these reminds me of so each street that had there they thought of Gorgolov as a medical overthrow the sort of like national anarchism in a sense. He's very much into that peasant sort of the green tie and all that shit. Also how violent overthrow the machine, that kind of thing. So I guess I can see how some anarchists could interpret that way. That's what I think. Now, finally, lawlessness. Anarchism won't describe what you fight against, not what you fight for. And something I need to put on labels as a cool side of the theory. For the so go to the street, what are going to be the anarchists have? When it comes next to forms and substance is not a concern, but the people will now stand at the crossroads to that order, or a lack of it, describe as and lawlessness. It has a program all over every man is a key to know about himself, with no change restrict him, no one to tell him what to do and how to do it. When a man's hand can reach, there is no authority that can be seen anywhere. As his law says, exists only places where the damage was so fundamental that the people have lost all hope, never organizing the area to something proper. So even the place outline their own desires, just to support each other in time of need. On some for order and formation that exists for localized entities, you inhabit the land. They still inhabit the land, sorry. Not many are brave enough to dive into the study of government as much flight as the king of the day. How does this happen? Does it really matter anymore? Well, because such an integral part of mankind has allowed the obliteration of horse, seized simply of life. How could have swayed the masses and bold experiments could have brought less than ideal result that has now rejected itself in the wounds of yesterday's glory. Or maybe it was a goal from the very beginning. Could be. Regardless of the carnage and bloodbath, this condition has managed to bring in the one fundamental desire that mankind always lusted for: freedom, absolute, uncompromised with all its beauties and horrors. And that true freedom to do whatever the fuck you want, and all the bad shit that can come out. Here, this gotta forget about that. Let me see that there. But yeah, so the ideologies for the anarchism side over here is sort of so I'm just kind of rushing through this over here. Or to try to over here. A lot of reading going on over here, and I need to get my throat all ready and stuff here. And also, again, I apologize for sounding and all that. It was all stuffy on my throat over here. I might be coming down with something, but I don't know. I feel fine. Well, I feel fine right now, but I don't know. I don't think it's gonna be too bad. So yeah, I'll see you guys over right next over here. I don't know when the rest of these are gonna come out over in here. Might be a day or thing. I don't know. It all depends really. I don't know what does come out. I'll try to record them whenever they do come out. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see the rest of these all y'all do, because I'm very interested to see how the rest of them are gonna be. Overall thoughts on anarchism, I think it's I think got some of these stuff going on up here for JD's anarchism over here, and I'm looking forward to seeing what the rest can entail. Also, some interesting shit could be brought up over here in the land JD. Till then, I'll see you guys later.